Hey y'all, welcome back to my channel. I'm Melissa and this is Melissa Knits for Fun. Today it's going to be all about the test knits. I have one of them finished as well as 3 others that I'm currently working on, and I will show you the progress I have made. I'm also going to have a question of the week, as well as I'm trying something different and would really love to have your feedback on it. So if this sounds like your type of fun and you'd like a little virtual knit night, grab your knitting, sit down, and stay a spell. Today I have one object that is finished, and that is my test knit of the little forest of Arda. Look at this! Is this not adorable? This is the child's version of the larger sweater, the Forest of Arda, that I test knitted earlier this year. This is by Melanie Rountree. I'm using Gilliatt yarn by Rerum Natura. All of this information will be down here. And honestly, it didn't take much. I used a 50-gram skein on here. I got down to, and I'm going to tell on myself here, one sleeve has 1 row less before starting the rolled edge and bind off than the other one does, because I got down, I was going to have to attach another ball of yarn for just that one, and it wouldn't have even been 1. It would have been a partial row to get it the exact rows. Nobody's going to notice 1 row, so I just went ahead and chose that I would go ahead and block that arm a little bit more aggressively. You can see, you cannot tell there's a difference. This pattern is beautiful. Melanie is such a talented designer. She's got some really, really beautiful things out there. For a while, I think that she was mostly accessories, and then she has branched into garments, and boy am I glad she did, because this is my kind of knitting. A little bit of complex. It definitely looks more complex than it is. The pattern is so well written. It is so easy to follow. It's all charted as well as written instructions, so whichever way that you enjoy knitting, either from a chart or from written instructions, she's got you covered. So with this one, like I said, this is the little one. I knitted the size 2. You can see, and it is a little damp. I just got it off the needles last night, so it's still just a little bit damp. It's going to have to go in there and lay down and block a little bit further dry. But I knitted the size 2T, and you see there is the little trees at the bottom, front and back, of course. And then you have this little bracer here where you have color work on the sleeve, and it turns into the bottom where you've got this little braided, this is called the inner bracer in the pattern. Melanie is a delight to knit for, or test knit for as well. Like I said, this is my 2nd test knit with her, and I absolutely love test knitting for her. Not only is she originally from my home state of Arkansas, but she's just genuinely nice. She's so encouraging. She gives us feedback about how beautiful the colors are. Somebody posted today that they'd gotten the body, and she was like, oh, your tension just looks perfect. I know, me as a test knitter, getting that kind of feedback is just great. It doesn't have to be from the designer Knit Pearl Girl. She doesn't usually interact in the chats unless something's going on. But the other test knitters give you those kinds of feedback as well. So getting that feedback is just really, really fantastic. And hearing it from the designer herself, it's wonderful. So if you ever want to test knit, make sure that you check her out. But here's this one. And then I want to circle back around. I said last week she had a cowl, and guys, don't judge me for the colors of this. I might wear it this Christmas, but honestly, the reason I did this was last year on a D-stash. I wanted to try out Gilliatt yarn really bad, and somebody D-stashed a red and a green ball, and I bought them. So when Melanie put out the call for the test knit earlier this year for the adult one, she had said, hey, I'm going to give you the cowl pattern so that you can use that as your gauge swatch. And so I just grabbed the yarn while I was waiting for the yarn to come in from France from Rerum Natura for the brown and the white that I had chosen for mine, I went ahead and grabbed this and swatched with it. And so you can see it's a cowl. It's really pretty. I'm going to put it on. It's going to come off really quick because it's a little warm today. But, you know, I put it on. You can see it just bunches really nicely. It may not be as big as it should have been. I don't know, but I like how it fits because if I'm going to wear a cowl, I want it close so that it keeps me warm. And it is just beautiful. So I did get gauge on this, and so based on that, I went out and I knitted my adult sized one. Cannot wait for this to be warm, cool enough, not warm enough, cool enough to wear. And you can see here just how stunning this came out. Whoop, trying to get that little piece off, and I'm going to hold this up. Isn't this adorable? Isn't that adorable? A mommy and daughter, or a grandma and granddaughter knit. And if you do buy the adult sweaters, she does give you the cowl pattern for free. And so what a great thing, Melanie. I hope that you think about bundling these three together and making it a little bundle that you can sell, because what a cute knit to have a mommy and me sweater. I just think it's wonderful. I will be knitting more of Melanie's designs as they come out, and hopefully we'll test knit for her again. All right, so guys, I got that done. And because of that, it has freed me up. And I am going to, I'll post a picture in here because I do think that I have, I do think that I picked up and was going to take, give me just a second. Yep, it's not in here. One of the ones that I'm going to talk about, and I'll leave it until the end, but I had gotten this, well, let me just stop myself right there and collect my thoughts for a second. This is a case of my mouth runs faster sometimes than my brain can, or maybe my brain is faster than my mouth can get it out. Whichever way, they were not connected. I have had, this has been the week for having to redo test knits. On my little one here, on the second sleeve, I got the first sleeve all done. It's knitted on a size 7. And then you do the ribbing or the little cuff with the size 5. I have Chalgu, the little mini, I forget what they're called. They're small circumference knitting needles. And so I had that, and I had knitted the whole first one, and I just changed out that interchangeable needle to a size 5 to do this, and I laid it down beside me. When I got ready to pick up the stitches for the second sleeve, I just grabbed that needle and picked up the stitches. Hear what I said there? I just grabbed that needle and picked up the stitches. I did not change that needle to a size 7. So on the second one, I had gotten all the way down, and I was on like the second round of doing this where you first start moving the color, the contrast color out. I'd gotten all the way down there and realized what I had done and had to pull the entire sleeve out and start it over with the size 7 needle. Luckily, I still got it off the needles and was able to give it a good block last night and get it in there. So there was that one. And then the one, I will talk about it last, but I will tell you I had to rip one all the way out and start over. And I'll cover that in just a minute. But my second, you know what? I'll talk about it right now because I will go in order that they are due. I don't remember when this one, the deadline was. It doesn't matter. I got it done. But the first deadline coming up for me is the one that I signed up for last. And let me tell you, thank God I did not get accepted for that gray and white, or that gray and black one last week. I will just buy that from the designer as soon as it comes out from Adorable Knits, and I will knit it. But boy, kind of glad because I got some pretty tight deadlines coming up. This one right here is Midnight Drive by Melanie Berg. I had gotten this all the way down to where it is now, where it was join the front together. And I went to join a second ball on, and it was a different dye lot, guys. I thought I had separated out all of it. I have 2 dye lots because I have 2 things that I'm doing with this yarn. And I thought I had separated them all out. Apparently I did not, because I went to add it on there. Now I took a picture of it and I'll post that little picture up here. And you can't really tell a difference, but I'm telling you there was a difference. There was a difference when I hooked these 2 up. In fact, you know what? I am going to pause this and go get the other one and see if we can tell a difference on the camera. And I will pause just a little bit so that maybe it won't be so jarring when it comes back. I'm back, and I have this one here that I had gotten to join in the front, and I'm hoping you can see a definite difference, but it's really hard. There is a difference in these colors, even though they don't look significantly different right now, or at least not to my eye. Let me know if you think they do. But I can see a bit of a difference, right? This one's a little bit brighter than this. So when I added that second ball, it was different. I'm not sure that I have enough to do it all in this dye lot, so I have reached out and I have ordered trying to get more of this dye lot. Just to make sure that I have enough. I probably do, but just in case. If not, I can always do the collar and the cuffs and the hem out of the other color and make it look planned. But I had to, well, I didn't rip it out. You can see it there. I did not rip it out, but I did take all the needles out and I had to start all over, and I have gotten it back to here. So guys, that's a lot of knitting. So I'm pretty proud of the amount of knitting that I've gotten done, because starting my new job, I've had to cut back a little bit, but I am very lucky that I am able to knit in meetings when I don't need to have fingers to the keyboard. So, all right, that is the second one, and I'm just going to adjust my camera just a little bit. Apparently I bumped it whenever I went out. Sorry about that. So that's the first one due. This one is due, and this is by Melanie Berg. As I said, it's called Midnight Drive. This one is due September the 30th. So I've got to get a move on and get this going. Although I think I'm in a really good spot, because a lot of people are just swatched. They hadn't even cast on yet. And I've got it cast on and have gotten it to the part where I join in the front. And as soon as I get this knitted down, I want to show you, look at this really pretty detail on the shoulder there. It almost looks like an I-cord, but it's just where you increased. And it's really, really pretty. This is where you increase the back. And it made that nice little detail, and then you pick it up there for the front. And then you join it. As soon as I get the front down to where it matches the back, it's like 7.5 inches from here. You measure from here. I think it's 7.5 inches or something. I'll join it in the round, and then it will go quicker because it'll just go. And I'm doing this on a size 7 because I had to go up a size to get gauge. The other gave me just too many stitches. So that is what I'm doing right now. Whoop. You can see if I put this on, which I can, of course, right? You can see how this is going to fit, and it's just going to be beautiful. So I really, really, really like this color. All right, hopefully I will have a lot more done on this next week. Don't expect it to be off the needles, but should be close. The next one that I've got due is due on October the 12th, and it is the one that I've shown several times already, which is the elk head, or it's called Elk Ridge. It's got elk heads in the yoke. There is somebody who's like almost got it completely done, so I'm pretty impressed. But I think I have about, it says to knit this like 17 and something inches, but I'm not so sure about that, because I like from my underarm to the bottom to be about 16, so I'm not sure I'm going 17 and a half. We'll see. I'll keep trying it on, but I've got about 11 inches or so here, I think it is, whenever I measured it. So I've got about, I'm gonna try it on again in about 5 inches or so. I'm figuring it will be the rest of this ball is where it will land, and then I'll be able to, you know, put the sleeves on and start connecting it for the color work in the yoke. I don't know that that will happen by next week because of the work that I need to do on the other one, but it might, because this is the one that I tend to pick up and knit when I'm in meetings, because I can knit this without looking because it's just stockinette in the round. So I've made some progress this week. I won't say significant progress, but I've probably I wish I'd put a progress keeper on, and I need to do that today, but I've probably gotten about that much. So a half inch or so. But I am steadily working on this as I'm doing other things. And it is just turning out stunning. This is that Norwegian, Icelandic, I guess it's Icelandic yarn. It's Ìstex Lètloppi. And it does feel scratchy. I don't like that word, but I guess that's a good word. It is very rustic. It is rough. But the more that I handle it, honestly, the softer it seems to me. I don't know if that's just me getting used to it or if it truly is softening up from the oils in my skin. We'll see. The sleeves that I have are softer. I've got one right here. Well, I've got both of them there, but there's no need to show both of them. The sleeves, I've ironed them, so I've steam blocked them, and honestly, I think that I would be able to wear that next to skin with nothing under it. I mean, it is a little prickly, but it's even being warm, and I'm a little warm right now, even being warm, it's not really bothering me that much. So I really do think that I will be able to wear this next to skin. We'll find out. And hopefully it will be temperature regulating so that I won't have to just wear it when we have those just couple of days where it gets really, really, really cold. But regardless, I'm going to be so happy to have this sweater. It's not even going to be funny. And maybe there will be a cardigan in the future, Amanda, if you're listening. This is by Amanda Roush. This is Elkridge sweater. And this is her first design. I have to say, very, very brave to do this kind of color work design. It is just beautiful. And like I said, maybe she'll turn it into a cardigan. She could do a little steeked cardigan. This would be great yarn to steek with. It ain't going anywhere, guys. You can cut this thing and it will stay. Probably don't even have to reinforce it. So this is my Elkridge sweater. Coming right along on it. And then last but not least, on the 22nd, so a mere 10 days later, the deadline for the Lucid is looming on the 22nd. I've not made significant progress, but I have made progress. You can see that the pattern is starting to emerge where you can start to see the design, where you've got this really pretty little ridge right here with some pearl bumps. You've got this nice little ribbing. I'm trying to get that. I'm trying to see how I can show that. The back, well, that's not the back. There's another little ribbing area. The back is plain, and then you've got ribbing on either side. It's really stunning in person. I wish that I could get better pictures of this, but it really is beautiful, and this yarn is just gorgeous. I wish that this were not a discontinued yarn. It is a discontinued yarn. It's recycled tweed by Queensland. I know both Letha and Ozark Knitting Company both have some of this in stock, and I believe they both have it on a discount because it is discontinued. Don't run up there and buy all this licorice though, because I think I might need a little bit more. In fact, I might have to just grab what she's got so nobody else comes in and gets it, and I don't have enough to finish the sweater. So it is a really beautiful color, and it's just tweedy enough to make it interesting. There have been a couple of places in it, and I'm trying to get it up there so you can kind of see the tweed in it. I'm not sure that it's really showing up. I'm sorry, it is just not really showing up, but it's got some really beautiful flecks in it. It's got some reds, and it's got some like beige and some dark flecks. Let's see if I can get a better picture of the yarn itself instead of in the design. Yeah, it definitely turns out better in the yarn itself. But you see, it's got some places where it's really, really big and obvious. I've kind of picked those out a little bit. I don't want, like if it's glaring and it's like, whoa, look at me. I picked that out a little bit. You know, it is absolutely beautiful, and it's working up really stunning. And what I didn't realize, because when she designed this, she designed it specifically for, I think it was Brooklyn Tweed Imbue, which Brooklyn Tweed is no longer making yarn, so it was discontinued. I didn't realize, but it was a tweedy yarn as well. It said something in the design, and I was like, oh, look, it's a tweedy yarn, so it makes sense to use a tweedy yarn. So I'm really liking how this is working up, and I don't have anything this color. in my, I probably shouldn't have put that over my mouth if I wanted to speak, but I don't really have anything in this color in my wardrobe. So I'm really looking forward to getting this in my, it's kind of a burgundy that leans brown, but it's also got like a black kind of undertone. It's just this really complex, beautiful color that until you get right up on it, you're not sure. It looks kind of brown or black from a distance, but when you get right up on it, you start seeing the red in it, which makes it lean more burgundy. So it is one of those really pretty colors that will look different depending on where you're looking at it from. So guys, that is it for what I've been working on this week. I don't have any yarn acquisitions. I cannot believe that this is going to be this short. I will talk about, I did not get picked for the test knit for Adorable Knits. I'm sorry, I've got fluff on my nose and it's itching. So I didn't get picked for that. Like I said, it's probably a blessing. The deadline wasn't until the 1st of November, like November 7th or something, but that's okay. And so since I have gotten through this really, really quick, I mean, we're about 11 minutes in. Well, I think a little bit more because I had the other one too. I forgot about the first part, but still we're probably 15 to 20 minutes in. I want to talk a little bit about test knitting. If you're intimidated by test knitting, don't be, right? You're just knitting something for a designer that has created a pattern and they just want you to verify that there's not any weird wording or they haven't gotten a miscount, right? We found a miscount. I found a miscount in the little forest of Arda. I'm like, hey, you said this many rows, but when I actually go and count the rows that I've done, shouldn't this be this instead? And she's like, yeah, yes, absolutely, right? You're right. I'll get that changed. So just stuff like that where, right, people make mistakes, guys. If people didn't make mistakes, there would be no such thing as an eraser on a pencil. And there probably wouldn't be pencils because you do everything in ink, because if you don't make mistakes, you don't need to erase anything. People make mistakes. People miss things. We're all human. We read something. We see what we expect to see. And you can have 2 or more people do that, and it takes a 3rd or 4th person to go, hey, did you see that? That number's not actually right. So test knitting, having designers who want to test knit is fantastic. So dip your feet in if you want to test knit. Just try it. There's places to go. People announce it on Instagram. Some people have testing groups. It's not newsletters, but it's kind of like a newsletter. You sign up for their test group and they send out an email whenever they want to test. They want testers. Bea does it through her newsletter. She sends out and she always puts in there in the title, is she looking for test knitters as well? Most of them, there has only been one test knitter, or not test knitter, I'm the test knitter, one designer that I would not test knit for again. I will not share who that is, but I will not test knit for her again. It just was not my cup of tea how she runs her test knits. For the most part, everybody I've test knit has been great. I have test knit, I've done Bea, Knit Pearl Girl, Valentina Bogdanova a couple of times, Melanie now a couple of times, Amanda, Turquoise Toque. I'm really hoping to test knit for Turquoise Toque again as well, because I have several of her patterns in my favorites and in my queue to knit, but this is the first one I've knit, and let me tell you, I didn't say it while I was talking about it, and I can't believe I didn't. I should have. It is one of the most well-written patterns I have ever worked on in my life. She has it broken down into sections. Each one of them so far have only been 4 rows. Now, you have to repeat some of them have to repeat. So far, I haven't found it where I've had to repeat those 4 rows, but I have had to do, I think, a 2-row repeat. But it is incredibly well written, broken down into small sections, makes it really easy if you're somebody like me who I need to get to a logical stopping point before I set it down and do anything else. Makes it really easy because it's very small sections, like 4 rows. I get that done. Really, really great. And I've had really great testing experience. I knitted for Unwind Knitwear, Rachel Isley. She also was a delight to knit for. She was very encouraging. I shared with my Jana Ludi that Kirsten Michelle, super, super supportive, right? So most everyone that I have test knit for has been just delightful. It's just the one, and it's not that she was not supportive, because this designer was supportive. She gave us good feedback. She told us, you know, our choices were lovely and all that, but it was just a little bit too micromanagey for me. And that's all I'm going to say on that. But I've only ever run into one designer I wouldn't test knit for again. And I've test knit a lot. This one, these will wind up being like 13, 14, something like that for the year. I've test knit a lot since I started test knitting. It is addictive. So if you want to try it out, just dip your toe in. You know, like I said, there's newsletters, or they call them testing pools, I think. Testing pools where you get a note in email. They announce on Instagram. There's Yarn Pond that has announcements. And let me tell you, I get multiple emails a day from them saying there's a new test knit for both knitters and crocheters. They have a lot of crocheting tests as well. And it will say it's a new test call for crocheters instead of knitters. And it's really nice. So I have multiple places that I go looking for test knits. I just keep my eyes out for some of my favorite designers, and I stalk them. Like I said, I stalked that adorable knit one. I did also stalk the Ovi sweater by Toque's Knits, but when she came out, the deadline was October the 24th, which is 2 days after my last deadline, and I just didn't feel like it was fair to her or to the other designers I'm already test knitting for to take that on. So I do think that if you're going to be a test knitter, you need to be responsible and make sure you can meet those deadlines. All right, so normally at this point, I would say if you've gotten this far and you don't want to see my acquisitions and you're leaving me now, thank you very much. Like, subscribe, do all the things. But I don't have any yarn acquisitions to switch to, and I just realized, right, I did not ask you the weekly question. So if you've gotten this far, here's my weekly question. We have Sleeve Island, right? And it does seem like that sometimes sleeves can take forever. Seems like they never end. It's the never-ending stockinette. But it can get kind of a bit of a slog too to do the body when all you're doing. And I will just use this. Great design. I have no problem with this. I'm loving knitting it, but it is a whole lot of stockinette, just stockinette, because from once you get past the ribbing, which is a couple of inches, then it's like 14 inches of just stockinette. What do we call that? Body Island doesn't seem right because you got Sleeve Island. Let's think, what would you call that? And I Googled and I couldn't find anything. The only thing I found was like Body Island. Somebody called it Body Slog, the never ending slog. But guys, let's come up with something. Let's coin a phrase here and let's start calling it that and see if we can make it take off. Maybe we'll invent a new term for the knitting world. So that's your weekly question. And then the other thing I wanted feedback on, you would have noticed by now because we've gotten well past it. I did create a logo. Did use AI. I know that's not everybody's cup of tea, but it made things easier for me. And then I went out and I animated it myself. So not everything in there was done by them. AI did not animate it for me. It just gave me a design to use. And so I animated it myself and I had a little logo up there and I added some music to it. I would love to have some feedback. Do you like the logo? Do you want to keep the logo? Do you think the logo sucks and I should get rid of it? Give me some feedback. So with that, I'm going to transition because like I said, I don't have any yarn acquisitions, and give me a little feedback on this too. Do you want to see what patterns I bought? Because I have bought several patterns this week because for one, Samantha Guerin, I think is how you say her last name. She has a birthday, and so she's got a thing out on Instagram, a 30% off discount for her birthday. If you're a newsletter subscriber, you got a little bit more discount. So guys, if you like designers, go. If they have a newsletter, sign up because you usually get a better discount being in the newsletter. Crayabea does it too. You get a discount. They'll have a public discount, but you get a little bit better one if you are a newsletter subscriber. So I love a good sale, so I'd sign up for everybody's newsletters. And then I'm not sure I can pronounce her name right. I will put her name up here. There is a designer. I am on her newsletter, and she sent me a code for $3.60 off. It would make a accessory pattern for, well, I could use it for an accessory pattern for free, or I could use the code for $3.60 off of a garment pattern, which of course is what I'm going to do. And it's I've got several things in my queue, and it's this one. I'll put the picture up here. It's called the Down and Out game, I think is what it's called. And it's been in my queue for a while. I already have one of hers, the band weaver, that I've already bought. But I'm going to buy this one as my birthday gift from her. I thought that was super, super nice. And I can see her name. It's Steinem, I think is the last name. Anyway, I'll put her name up here. And I just don't want to butcher it, and I don't want to be completely wrong. But she's just got some really classic designs. And I thought it was really, really nice that she gave me a birthday code. My birthday is coming up. It's this weekend. I will be 56 years old, and guys, I am not ashamed of my age. I'm not one of those that's going to hide my age. I have earned every single gray hair that is in this head. That one, Cameron's bedroom is right next to me. That one gave me those gray hairs with his rack. But I have earned every wrinkle, every gray hair, and I'm really proud of it, right? I'm 56 years old. Not everybody gets that chance. I have a friend who's mourning the loss of his 16-year-old. So guys, every day that we're on this earth, we should be thankful. And with that, I am going to switch into my personal update. I don't have a lot. It is my birthday coming up this weekend. Like I said, I'll be 56, and we should celebrate. I don't talk politics. I don't share my politics very publicly, and I'm not going to start that now. But I am going to say I'm recording this on Wednesday evening, September the 10th. And Charlie Kirk was shot and killed today. I don't care how you feel about his politics or anything else. The violence has to stop. And I'm very saddened that this young man that's 31 years old, who is younger than either one of my boys, and is leaving behind a wife and 2 small children, was killed today because of his political beliefs. And that's all I'm going to say about that. I'm just telling you, celebrate every day that you're here, and tell everybody that you love them. This 2 young men that I've heard about this week. And with my friend who's mourning the loss of his 16-year-old, I remember when he was born, I used to work with him, and it was heartbreaking. So I will now get off my soapbox, because that is a soapbox of mine. Tell your loved ones you love them. Other than that, I don't really have a lot of personal update. My birthday's coming up. My kids, I would like for them to go out to eat with me. That probably will not happen. I'll be lucky if I get a happy birthday from them. They tend to forget. And that's okay. I know they love me. They tell me they love me throughout the year. I don't have to have them tell me. It does irritate me if they don't tell me, but I don't have to have them tell me to know that they love me. And then other than that, Michelle and I are going for tea. We're going to go to tea on Sunday, which will be nice. And I think we're going to try to see Downton Abbey very, soon. Their last movie is coming out. It's coming out on Friday. I think we're going to go do that. And then my friend Shauna's coming over tonight. We always, we watch, right now our show is Dexter. We tend to binge watch and watch series together. And she comes over every Tuesday and Wednesday, and we watch together. And tonight we're actually doing dinner together. Usually she brings hers over and I'll cook for me and Cameron, or I'll get us something and all that. But tonight we're doing dinner together. I'm going to go down. There's a little food truck place by me, and they have a Venezuelan place that is, it's so good. I found Venezuelan's food whenever I lived in Massachusetts. My favorite thing is a cachapa. It's kind of like a corn pancake almost. It's like a corn batter, and it's corn. It's not cornmeal. This is corn that they grind down, they put it in a blender, and anyway, they make this batter out of it, and it lays flat, and they grill it, and it's got cheese in it, and then you can add stuff. I always get beef, and it comes with this delicious garlic sauce, and I'm really hungry right now, so I'm waxing poetic about it. But it is really, really delicious. It's one of my favorite things to eat, and I was so happy when we got a food truck. They also have arepas and other Venezuelan foods. They have these little fried things, and they're delicious. They're a really good food truck. There's also pupusas down there, and Cameron will probably get something from the Chinese truck, and he says that they're really, really good. I haven't eaten there. So that's the plan tonight. She'll let me know. It'll be about 20 minutes that it'll take them to make the food, so she'll let me know before she heads over so I can run down there and get the orders done. And then we'll eat, watch TV. And I will continue to work, enjoying my people still on the 2nd week. And there is maybe a possibility for this turning into a full-time position with the client. Apparently they do offer contract to hire. So just say a little prayer for me if you pray, that if that is what is supposed to happen, that will turn into a full-time job complete with benefits and everything else. I'd love to find a new family, a new work family, and a new work home that I can spend the next 11 years before I retire. And with that really is all of my updates. Life is good right now. Nothing really great, but nothing bad either. You know, I'm very blessed that I have my family members and that I have my life, and I'm going to thank God every day for that. Speaking of thanking God, I am going to stop for just a second, and I'm going to talk about something. I said I was going to talk about this, and my friend Ginger told me, because I've been getting a little bit discouraged with YouTube, because I'll see somebody put out a knitting podcast. It's their very first episode, and they get like 3,500 views. And the only thing that I've gotten anywhere near that many views is a little short about whether I had a knitting fail or not. And, you know, I have 81, or I think I'm up to 83 subscribers. I am not doing this because I want to make a lot of money or anything else, but I just don't know how to grow. And so I tend to, I've told y'all before, I have a little bit of self-talk that goes on. And I shared that last week. We did something that I found really, really interesting. And it's a really great, it'd be a really great little exercise to do with any team. It's basically you build your own user manual and you say, how do you want people to work with you? What are your preferred hours? What is your preferred type of environment? Like, I thrive in chaos, but I work equally well if it's quiet. And what are things that get under your skin? What do you love? And then there was one that was, what do you struggle with? I decided that I would be completely transparent, completely honest, and completely vulnerable. And I will do that now with y'all as well. I struggle with thinking that people don't like me. I will convince myself that people don't like me. And so this whole YouTube thing has played into it, because I'm like, see, people don't like me. That's why that I'm not getting more views on my channel, and that's why I'm not growing. I am not saying any of this to try to get y'all to give me, kudos or anything else. That's not why I'm doing it. I'm talking about this because there might be somebody out there who is listening to this who needs to hear this and know that they are not alone. I know when I hear somebody talk about something that I struggle with, it does make me feel not glad that they're struggling as well, but less alone. I don't feel like that it's just me that struggles with it. So I wanted to take a minute and talk about that. If you're struggling with, and all I can think of is that song when we were kids, nobody loves me, everybody hates me, I'm going to go eat some worms. If you struggle with that, if you struggle and you convince yourself that people don't like you and that, this is one of the reasons I'll go to a party or I'll go somewhere and I don't know everybody and I'm kind of a little bit of a wallflower at first, and then I'm like, oh, screw this, I'm just going to go talk to people. But I get in my head and I'm like, oh, what if somebody doesn't like me? Well, guess what? What if they don't like me? I'm not everybody's cup of tea, and I shouldn't be everybody's cup of tea. This is why we all have different friends, and if we were all alike, the world would be boring. So if you need to hear today that you're not alone in that struggle, then I am glad and happy to be the one who says that. You are not alone. Okay? And with that, I really am going to end this time. I said it was going to be a short podcast, but again, I apparently lie. I don't really lie. I just don't realize how long it's going to take me to talk about the things I want to talk about. So I am doing another new one. I'm putting my logo at the end as well, and it'll be up there. It'll be at the end. It's a static one. It's not animated. Just give me a little feedback. And yes, I know the hair is not gray, but the sweater is pink. So give me a little, drop a comment, give me a little feedback, and I will see y'all next week.